by a dog, and that's why she's very scared of a dog.
Mm.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, where's it going now?
Oh. Oh.
We're live and Martin's gone again.
Again.
We should be live.
It says live. Martin's been playing with his camera again.
Yeah. Martin, we can't lose you now. We're live. And hopefully people can start to say that they can see us and hear us. If you can comment and let us know that you're there for us, so we know that
do you get to see the comments only?
Yes.
Okay.
But I can read them out to you.
Oh, Martin, where have you gone?
Martin's still gone.
I'll be back. Where have I gone?
He will be back. But if anyone could comment to let us know that we're live, so at least we can get that.
If anybody
sorted.
knows where I am,
Martin?
please just give me a shout.
There we are.
Here I am.
There you are, Martin.
There we go. I'm back. There we go. Right. I'll stop looking around now.
Right, Martin's there.
Right.
Has anyone commented? I might have to just refresh. Oh, yeah, the comments are starting to come in. Ah, lovely. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Fiona. Hi, Rachel. Hello, everyone. Hi, Caroline. People are starting to tune in now, so that's
Hi,
brilliant.
everyone.
Hi.
We're all here, and you will all see Martin again in a minute. He has he disappeared and came back. There he is. You can all see him now. Oh dear. So I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for joining us this evening. This is actually the first time we've ever held a live Thank-a-thon on Facebook, so please bear with us. I'm sure it'll be fine. But we want to do something to say a huge thank you to everyone who's supported Julia's House over the last few months. You've really made a life-changing difference to our families. My name's Hannah, and I'm lucky enough to work for Julia's House. And I've got some special guests with me here tonight to help me say thank you. So please say hello to our wonderful patron, Martin Clunes.
Hello. I didn't hear them.
Hello.
Hello.
Just give us a wave. And we've got our lovely Carmela and Lucy with us.
Hello.
Hi.
And we've also got our lovely nurse, Sophie, with us.
Hello.
So we'll be hosting a mini question and answer session at the end for anyone who's got any questions, and we'll read a couple out. And Martin, do you want to take it away and tell us what life's been like for you in lockdown, and also give us special thank you to all our supporters?
Absolutely, yeah. I would. This is one of the nice bits of being a patron, is getting to sort of say hello and connect with all of the supporters, and just thank you for supporting Julia's House in this weirdest of times. You have made a massive difference to a huge number of people's lives. It goes without saying, lockdown's hard for everyone in its various ways, but for people, you know, who need the special support that Julia's House provides, it's a lifeline for them, and it's essential, and they have managed. They've risen to the occasion, as they do every single time, and gone out into people's homes. And we want to say thank you to them, and we want to say thank you to everyone who's donated to make all of that possible, because it really has made a massive difference. And we're going to hear from Lucy and Carmela, you know, just what a difference it's made to them during this difficult time, to keep getting that support, because it's a dependence, isn't it? What Julia's House does for people's lives, supporting the children, supporting the siblings, supporting the parents, and just keeping life bouncing along. I'm sure they'll agree. They know better than I do. And this is taking the pressure off the NHS, because, you know, with these complicated conditions that Julia's House supports their users through, you've been relying on the NHS then, who are, as we know, massively overtaxed at the moment. So it's just win-win again from Julia's House. So thank you for everyone who supports it. Thank you for everyone who uses it, and thank you for everyone who works there, especially. Carmela and Lucy, can I throw over to you, because you're kind of the experts in all of this. I can bang on all I want, but you're real direct users of Julia's House's services, aren't you? How's it been for you, this lockdown period?
Well, we've got a really strange sort of situation because it's just me and Carmela the last 4 months because my husband's the emergency delivery driver for the pandemic. So he had to sacrifice himself living away from home and not seeing Carmela and giving her kisses and cuddles and things. So he's been living in the garden cabin, you know, to prevent the risk of any cross-contamination. So for us, it's a little bit different. It's very hard on each of us for different reasons. For me, being at home on my own with Carmela, it's been very tough with the emotional roller coasters that comes with a child with muscular dystrophy, because in lockdown, when someone has a muscle wasting condition, it gets worse when they're got less movement, not used to her daily routine, going to school or going to her therapy activities like horse riding and swimming. So, you know, for the last sort of 2 months, she's been waking up dizzy because of her neck's hurting. She wakes up with a new pain in her leg or her ankle or her chest or a wrist or a finger. So it's constant pain all the time. But she's also, I mean, it comes and goes, but that's what it is, unfortunately. That is the condition, because it's progressive. But you're upbeat, aren't you?
Yeah,
you're upbeat. You're upbeat about it. But it has been hard on me having to sort of keep myself upbeat while Carmela's, you know, to try and keep her cheerful and happy as possible.
I bet. Yeah.
But you know,
that little hairy fella in the middle there must help some way, doesn't he?
Does he help? Does she help?
Yeah.
She does, yeah, she does immensely. I mean, for me as well, but as I say, she's Carmela's little therapy dog, so.
Yeah, they're just therapy
she
for
helps
everyone,
me,
aren't
yeah,
they?
she does help me. But no, it has been really difficult. But as I say, for Carmela, it's been hard for you as well, hasn't it? Because you haven't had Daddy around. What do you miss about Daddy?
I miss about having high fives, cuddles, kisses. And all that stuff in the world, you know.
But Julia's house, you know, as you say, they just rise to the occasion, and you know, it makes me cry when they come and I just hear the laughter, constant 2-hour laughter in the bedroom.
Really?
So I have to, before I go out to have my headspace, because they come and relieve me, so I can go and get myself together, have a bit of me time, you know, have a little cry if I need to have a little cry. But, you know, I normally have a good 5-10 minutes before I go out and I listen to it. And you know what? It's just hilarious. The things she gets the carers dressed up in. It's just brilliant. And they're just so game. They're fantastic. They'll do anything she asks. What have you had them doing recently?
We mean playing ballerinas. Playing mermaids. Lots of things.
But yeah, so you know,
the important stuff. Yeah,
it is, and it's called it's taken her mind off of her condition, and you know, for that 2 hours, life is fantastic, and that makes a huge difference to us.
I think for people who aren't exposed to it, the notion of respite is a sort of what are you talking about? But it is so important, isn't it, for both of you?
It is. I mean, there are different families will have different needs, and the respite will be different to every family. But I'm for Carmela at the moment, because she's quite mobile. For her, it's more of an emotional support, and for Mummy to sort of, you know, she has her down days, so I have to go and have my little me time. So that's how we have our support from Julie's house. And as I say, normally we use them for Carmela's horse riding, because she can't be on the horse without two side walkers. So she loves it.
Oh, I bet you do. And that's good for you. Makes your tummy strong, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Builds up your core.
Nice.
Well, when the lockdown's over, you'll have to come and ride one of my giants.
Whoa, big giant horsey.
Don't worry. Because
you might have to go on there with her, I think.
Yeah, I'll be up there.
Because by the way, at my horse riding, I have a big horse called Tilly, so I'm absolutely fine with that.
Oh, great. How big's Tilly? How many hands?
I think she's just below 14, so she's still a pony, but pretty much a horse.
Oh, lovely. A big pony.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, isn't she?
Mommy, but I remember that lovely horse.
Are we going off a tangent now?
Carmela and Lucy, do you have anyone that you'd like to say thank you to?
We do. Did you want to go first, Carl, or do you want Mummy to go first?
You go first.
You want Mummy to go first? Okay. We want to say a big thank you to Angel Younger. He's 11 years old. He read about Julia's house and wanted to help. So he raised £1,441 by running 100 kilometres in 31 days, finishing outside the Dorset Hospital. So thank you so much. That is. And then we've got a Ted Ward. He's 16 years old, and he did a marathon, 19 hours of continuous sport and exercise, and raised a whopping £6,337. That's huge.
That's a huge amount. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah,
And
well done, Ted.
And you've got a thank you.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Okay. Archie, also 11 years old, raised £395 by riding his bike up 140 miles in just 14 days. Well done, Archie.
Brilliant.
Well done,
Amazing.
Archie. Amazing. God, the effort.
We do have our own personal thank yous. We do need to say thank you for our lockdown carers and nurses. And who are they, Car? Gemma, but we did have Teresa and Helen and Sam, who's our nurse, in the beginning. So thank you so much.
And don't forget Alison. We had Alison, remember?
Did we?
Yeah,
okay,
we did.
thanks, Alison. Sorry.
We did. I remember. I have better brain than Mum.
Age catches up with us all, eh?
Yeah.
Blame it on the dog. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
And Martin, do you have some questions for our lovely nurse Sophie as well?
Oh, yes, I do, Sophie. Hi, where are you? Are you on-
Here.
Hi, how are you doing?
All good, thank you. Yeah, very good.
How's it been? Do you feel slightly as if you're reaching for something that they've taken away from you?
Yeah, it's been a really challenging time for us, actually. I think Carmela and Lucy have hit the nail on the head. The respite we give to families is so tailored to each of the children and the family's needs. And right back at the beginning of lockdown, we really had to think about how we were going to carry on our service and make sure it was safe, but also make sure that it was still fun and that everybody got value from the respite still. So it took a lot of thinking and a lot of planning. But yeah, I think we've got it right for the families. And as Carmela said, it's been interesting and challenging, but we've done lots of dancing, lots of singing, and yeah, kept everyone busy and entertained. So yeah.
And in a way, there's an infrastructure in place because so much of the normal non-pandemic work that the hospice does is based in people's homes, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And so we had that to our advantage, really. We already had that service in place. And so it's really thinking about the families that did still want to access our support. There's lots of our families that have chosen not to have support, and we've still provided remote support to them. So whether that's collecting prescriptions and delivering that to them, or collecting shopping and delivering that out to them. But for families that had community respite and wanted to keep that in place, we've done that. So we've given more respite to those families than we normally would. And that's normally been 3-hour sessions that we've been doing. And when you think these children aren't seeing their normal therapist, not going to school, we're kind of maybe the only people that are going into that family right now. And so, yeah, I would hope that we've been a bit of a them. Lots of smiling faces, especially right at the beginning of lockdown. And it was really scary for everybody. Yeah, it was lovely to arrive on that doorstep and just kind of give 3 hours of fun and respite, whatever they needed. So, yeah, it's been good.
Oh, Sophie, can I ask you what drew you? I know you've been a nurse for 10 years. And how did you head down this very specialised avenue of nursing?
Yeah, so before I did my training, I worked as a teaching assistant at one of the special needs schools in Dorset. And so that really planted the seed that's maybe that I would come back to this avenue and this path. So I'm from Dorset originally, but I went off and lived in Southampton and Oxford and worked as a nurse in different jobs. This is my first job within a hospice. My previous job was within the community, so supporting a really similar group of children, but within the NHS. So on a slightly larger scale, and not being able to give the really patient-specific and child-focused and family care. So I've now been with Julie's House a year, and it's a lovely place to work. It's fantastic.
And you work both in the hospice and out, do you?
Yeah. So like you say, we have the community respite that we normally run, but we normally also have hospice sessions that we would run for the children. So they run Saturdays and Sundays, but currently they're on pause, and hopefully we'll restart them at some point. So we've really kind of focused down on our community respite during this time. So yeah, but normally I would be based in the hospice and in the community. So yeah, all over the place.
And Sophie, do you have anyone that you would like to thank?
I do, Hannah. Funny you say that. Now, let me just get these right. These special thank yous. So first of all, we'd like to say a big thank you to Fiona Rickson. Fiona's been making face masks for donations for us, and she's raised over £1,000 for her prep next year. So
that's a lot of masks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic, and she's hopefully building towards her trek next year. So well done, Fiona. Thank you. Secondly, we'd like to have a big thank you to Simon Ward, who is one of our Julie's House volunteer photographers. So Simon started a challenge taking doorstep portraits of families on their doorsteps during lockdown. And he even managed to take a picture of Harry and Sandra Redknapp on their doorstep. So Simon's been raising money for us and for Salisbury Stars Appeal. So thank you to Simon. And finally, my last thank you is to Alex Vance. Alex has raised over £800. So Alex was supposed to be cycling London to Brighton. This event was cancelled, but he still managed to raise all of that money for us. So big thank you to all of you.
Oh, amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And Martin, have you got some thank yous as well with you?
Yeah, I certainly have. I'd like to shout out in the way that we young people do to Claire Smale, one of our volunteers in Wiltshire. She also was meant to be doing a bicycle ride from Land's End to John O'Groats, but that got cancelled. But undeterred, she covered exactly the same distance using her 1 hour exercise throughout the lockdown and raised £1,222, which is, I love that, don't you? It's super tenacious and a good sum, and I know you'll spend it well. And we have to say a big thank you to Super Shavers. Tony Gallop raised £620 shaving his beard off, and Steve Maxted raised 470 with a head shave. I don't know why a head is cheaper than a chin, but there you go. Karen Meek from the Devises Friends group made face masks and raised funds for Julie's House by holding a big breakfast for their neighbours. And over 62 Julie's House staff from Wiltshire and Dorset who are taking part in the Around the World Challenge to raise £12,000, donating their daily exercise miles to reach 24,000 miles. Wow. So there's only a few more thousand miles to go on the home stretch. It's all downhill. But thank you to all of you. It's it does you good to know that everyone's heading in the same direction on this and putting their shoulders into helping Julia's House, because we all know how worthwhile it is.
I've got a few thank yous that I'd like to give as well. I'd just like to say a big thank you to the team taking part in our Everest Base Camp trek in November. The trek's been postponed. We're hoping to go in May, but they're still training, they're still fundraising, even though the world's been turned upside down. I'm sure we'll get there in November. I want to say a special thank you to Justin Klein. He's one of our wonderful parent ambassadors. And not only has he committed all his time to fundraising for us, but he's also helped me a lot, especially in the last year and a half. I also want to give a big thank you to my volunteer, Debbie, who's not only given up her time to help me in the office, but she's raised nearly £10,000 for us as well. And to all the companies that supported us through the pandemic, and this includes Superior Seals, with a special thank you to Katie, Sue and Tim, to Amigo, to Barclays, to Savills, to Vitality, to Addo Foods, Rockley Water Sports, Vinyl Solutions and Trethowens, and to everyone who stood by us and generously donated during this really difficult time. Every single penny really does make a difference to us. And finally, I just want to say a huge thank you to our patrons, our ambassadors, and for your continued support, and especially a big thank you to Martin Clunes for being here tonight with us. So thank you so much. It means a lot.
Thanks for having me.
So I think now we could do a little, see if anyone's got any questions. If anyone wants to ask a question, please put it in the comments and I'll read it out to any one of our lovely guests today. We've got Carmela, Martin, Sophie, so let us know what you'd like to know. There's a bit of a lag, so I know I'll have to wait a moment for you all to actually hear what I've just said.
I'll just say, I'm no good at sports questions, just entertainment and leisure is my, This, I just want to say, Carmela and Lucy, have you noticed that Hannah smashed that bottle of wine and since our last? Yes.
Yes, you're right. The cabbages are gone as well. The cabbages are gone.
She's had 2 China cabbages and a bottle of wine. No wonder she's smiling.
Yeah, well spotted, I missed that.
Yeah. And this gin's good too.
So I got a pint.
Find a rose.
Oh, we've got some questions coming. So Sarah would like to know what Carmela's dog name is.
Tinker.
Oh, Tinker.
Yeah.
Good name.
And someone's asked, Kate's asked Martin, do you expect to have filming on time next year?
I really don't know. I'm supposed to be filming another manhunt drama in the autumn. And we're just carrying on as if that's going to happen, but I don't know if it is, or what filming is going to look like. I don't know. I was in the middle of making a thing about the islands of the Pacific and had to come home. I made 3 out of 4 films I was supposed to be making over there, but I don't know what travel's going to be like. I really, it's everything's upside down, but I'm not, I've quite enjoyed being at home because I'm usually away from home, earning to pay for it, but it's been really nice living here. My poor daughter's had to come home from university, so she's sick to death of me, but I'm loving seeing her. And I'm spending a lot more time with my animals, which is great. The dogs keep me living in the moment, and I've never been closer to my 2 horses, which has been lovely. But it's uncertain, I'm blessed with a bit of space here on the farm, and a lot of animals who have, their needs continue. So it's nice to have that to do. But I'm running out of jobs. Cleaned every flat stone I've seen with a pressure washer. But I'm okay. I'm really okay,
And Sophie, Michael's asked, what's been your highlight working for Julie's house? Oh, I bet there's been so many.
There has been lots, yeah. I mean, only been here a year and there's already been lots. Lockdown's been interesting. I've been in charge of a couple of haircuts. Our children, having never really cut anyone's hair. I've done 2 haircuts. One of the carers had to take over one of them, so reading to that one. And they've not come back for a second haircut, so yeah, I mean that kept us all quite entertained, I think. So skills always.
Why did somebody have to take over? Was somebody else crying?
I think they could envisage that, so they were perhaps preventing that happening.
Oh,
so
okay, cool.
I was very appreciative of their support with that. It's quite nerve-wracking cutting someone's hair, isn't it? Having clippers in your hand, ready to go. Wow. The second one was with scissors, and so I'm there just trying to make it all level. But perhaps it's a new career thing. We'll see.
Julie's also asked, Martin, do you ever slip into the Doc Martin character at home just for fun?
What do you mean, start diagnosing people? Operating on them? No, I don't. I get pretty short change from my wife and daughter if I did.
So you're not a doctor?
well, I'll give it a go, I'm enthusiastic. I'll get the hood up.
And what's your dog's name behind you?
That's Jim. That's my old Jim.
Jim looks very comfy
himself today, actually. He is comfy, but he hasn't been quite so perky today. He's getting on a bit. He's 10, but he's like my sort of, we've got 4 dogs. I mean, they generally come with me, but Jim's like my right hand. He comes everywhere.
Good old Jim.
Good old Jim.
I think that's all our questions that we've had. So that's nice. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining our Thank-a-thon this evening. We hope you've enjoyed it, and also hearing how your support makes a difference to our families, like Carmela. Say hello, Carmela. And well, I just want to say stay safe and have a good evening to everyone. So if everyone wants to say goodbye.
Oh, I'm enjoying this chit chat.
Also, Hannah, thank you to you for making this work.
Yes.
It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's nothing short of a miracle. So well
the one that's gone off the screen.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done you. And I hear you've been doing similar things throughout the lockdown.
Yeah, I've been the one that's kind of taken on the going live and doing quizzes and all sorts, but it's really fun. And it's nice that. What did you say, Sophie?
Big responsibility. It's rather you than
massive.
No one else wants it.
see why.
Oh.
No, it's fun when you get going. It's really fun. It's really fun, and I get to hang out with you guys. So what more could I ask for?
Oh, good. Well, Jim and I salute you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you as well for being here tonight. We really appreciate it.
Right. I quite like the adult conversation. I don't get that. It's quite nice. Okay.
Oh well, it's really nice
we got to sign off
Carmela,
now, haven't we? Okay.
Oh, say bye, Carmela.
You want to say one more thing?
Are you sure?
Go for it. It's live, doesn't matter. Go for it.
I'm not sure.
You don't have to then. You want to say one more thing to any of them you'd like?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
You could just say thank you and a big wave.
Will you come and when all this madness is over, please do come and visit, and I'll stick you on one of my horses. They're only 18 hands, but you'll will
have to be on there with her because she'll fall off.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do it.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. We'll have to talk.